Very good evening to everyone. This side Sanu, director and founder of Films Academy. Today we have Devansh Srivastava, who got All India rank 100 in Clat 2022. So many congratulations to Devansh and to your family. Tell me, how are you feeling, man?
Feeling great. I mean, of course, I did not. I mean, it was like I did not expect and yeah. I mean, just happy. I'm really happy.
Okay. So tell me, when you got all the rank 100, so what was your that mental condition that when you saw so that I got all the rank 100?
So honestly, it was like towards the last end of my preparation.
Okay.
It was like I was not really sure where I exactly stand and everything because you do not really know, right? I mean, some people are getting certain marks, right? And then you tend to get intimidated by that. And all of that was happening, and I was not really sure where I stand. So I did not really know what to expect. But then at the end of the day, I knew that, getting in top five would have been great. But then definitely 100 rank 100 came as a pleasant surprise, and definitely NLS was. I mean, it was a dream. It was the dream. So yeah,
Okay,
I was
great.
really happy.
So how did you think that you have to go and pursue your career in a law? So how did you think that?
Right. So initially, like I was genuinely interested in like a lot of reading, writing, and speaking activities right from the time that I was in school. So I remember there was this Model UN conference, and we had Salman Khurshid as one of the chief guests, one of the keynote speakers, and
Okay.
he said something around the lines of, whenever he wakes up, he's really passionate about, what is it that he's going to do. He really looks forward to whatever he does. So, that sort of resonated with me, and I started asking myself this question: what is it that I genuinely enjoy, right? And to that end, I think debating, or for that matter, speaking, writing, these are certain things that I genuinely enjoyed, and I think, law was just like next logical step. So yeah, that's why I chose law.
Okay, so basically for that it's your cup of tea where you can do better in your life. That's why you choose it, right? So, but Devans, I also used to get so many questions from the aspirant. How to start with the preparation? We don't know anything about that. It's just a zero. And now we have to start. Then what should be your any strategy, something like that, advice that from where they have to start?
Right. So first of all, I mean, go through the consortium's website, look at what is it that they want from you. I mean, I think primarily what they're testing you on is one, reading, two, general awareness, and three, some sort of intelligence, in the sense that how do you tackle the paper and so on and so forth. Right. So these are primarily the three areas that they want to test you on. Go through the syllabus, look at what are the topics that they've highlighted for, let's say, quants. Go through that, and then analyze past year papers. I mean, now you have 20, 20, 21, and 22 papers for you as well. So just go through them, see what is it that they ask, and then sit down and ask yourself what are the skills that they're testing me on, right? And then work accordingly, solve some mocks, enroll in a coaching program or in a mentorship program, and yeah, solve some mocks, and then see for yourself what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and then work accordingly with that.
Okay. So there was also now one more question from the aspirant, given Devans will complete all this question that can we just go through CLAT just by reading, or we also need some kind of concept regarding some theories of the chapters? What do you think? Only reading will work for this, or theory or concept is also most important part in the journey of CLAT?
I would say that not necessarily, because see, reading a text is different, and solving a question based on that text is an entirely different ballgame, right? For an instance, if I do not know what inference means, or I do not know how is it that I choose what is an inference and what is not an inference, I might just understand the text in its entirety, but I'll go ahead and mark the wrong option because I just do not
Yes.
know what the concept is, right? So, particularly for critical reasoning, or for that matter, legal reasoning for that matter, there are like these very basic concepts. Go through them first. What is an inference? What is paradox? Right? Go through that for critical reasoning. What is the most appropriate answer as far as a legal reasoning question is concerned? Right? Go through these concepts first, and once you're done with them, then you can basically go ahead and say that, yeah, now I need to just practice, maybe revise concepts time and again, but then you will
I guess there. Yes, Devans. Devansh, can you hear me?
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
So I
Tell me.
think there was some network issues.
Not
Yeah,
an
I
issue.
think there was some network issue on my end. Sorry for that. So yeah, continuing on that, I think it's not just about reading,
Hmm?
right? You can understand the text in its entirety, but then you might just go ahead and mark the wrong answer. Because for an instance, if I do not know what an inference is, if I do not know what an assumption is, right? And then I go ahead and I mark this random option, I'll get it wrong for sure, right? So work with your concepts first, continuously read, right? Reading is the key, but at the end of the day, you are not there to sit there and analyze the text, right? You're there to go ahead and mark a question. You're there to score some marks, right? And for doing that, you'll need those concepts. So spend some time with those concepts. That's like step one. After that, go ahead and revise those concepts, solve some mocks, do that, and then there will come a time towards the end of your preparation where you can simply just give mocks, analyze them, and then you'll be sorted.
Yeah, definitely. So what can I know? What can I just try to form in the crux of the way you said me right now, that concept is something very important. Just don't go for only for reading. Reading is something important also, but concept give you the basic structure at how you have to proceed and how you have to think something logically manner. As simple as this. So my
Right.
next question to you, that no, how did you attempt the mock? Any mock, the strategy which you followed, a kind of thing, any experiment which you did, kind of things.
Right. So, I mean, amongst my study group, Uday, Ankit, and me, we like ran a lot of experiments for ourselves. So, one thing would be because we gave Clat in 21, we knew
Okay.
that there's like a lot of ambiguity in like whether you have to fill the OMR within the time limit or do you get some extra 5 minutes before to fill the OMR and all of that. Not only that, there have been issues like in 21, for an instance, I was sitting in a room where the invigilator kept on talking, right? So these things do come up, right? So just make sure. So what we did was we never solved mock in like 2 hours. For an instance, Flames does that as well, right? We solve most of our mocks in like 1 hour 55 minutes. We never solve our mocks in 2 hours, right? Try doing that. So what happens is when you restrict your time limit, you do put some sort of pressure on yourself, and then even if that does happen, some sort of mess up does happen on the day of your clat, you'll be used to it, right? So that's one thing that we did. Second, I think, see, the thing with time limits is, so I think there was this aspirant who asked this question to me yesterday only, that what is the ideal time limit, right? I don't think there's any ideal time limit as such. There's a general framework on which you might want to operate. But then I know people who spend like 11 minutes in math and they're in
Yes.
NLS. I know people who spend like 20 minutes in math and even they are in NLS, right? So it does not really make much of a difference. Sequence or time limit for that matter, it is very individual to you, right? See what your strengths are, see what your weaknesses are, experiment, right? Give some time for experiments. If let's say I'm working with this particular sequence and with this particular time limit, right? Test it through at least 3 or 4 mocks and then see for yourself, does it work for me or does it not work for me? Do I need to tweak it, right? Do all of that. Run a lot of experiments throughout your preparation, and I think you will come at a point. I mean, before your clat, at least write 10 mocks in like one particular sequence and one particular time limit,
Yeah.
because you should know what you're really comfortable with, right? Just do that,
Definitely.
and I think, yeah, that's pretty much it.
So mock is not just actual paper. You have to take it in the mind, and secondly, you have to experiment while giving lots of mock. That which are going to be the best appropriate or better going to be most suitable from the way you wanted to perform in the actual paper, right? So my next question to you, Devans, tell me something, that I also used to do an online classroom program of Flames. The student always used to ask me that it's online institute is good or not, whether it's beneficial to go for online institute. What do you think? Whether online teaching is good for this country or not?
Right. So what I would say is that again, it differs from like individual to individual. For an instance, if I'm a person who is like who wants someone to be there, who wants a faculty to be physically present with me and help me through my doubts and everything, you might prefer a physical class. For me, for instance, if I go to a physical class, I know that I'll socialize and everything, and I might just lose out on my academics, right?
Yes.
I know that about myself. So what happens then is, the logical step for me was, I'll waste a lot of time traveling as well, right? And I might not just, I mean, I'm not really that kind of guy who, goes up to the offline center and studies and everything. I like to study in isolation. I like to study by myself, right? That is something that I always believed in. So that's why I enrolled for an online program. On the other hand, some people, they do really well in offline settings as well. So see for yourself, see what works for you. That's it.
Definitely. That's a very great answer from your side. My next question to you, tell me, how was your journey in flames and how was journey throughout the Clat journey?
Right. So I'm a dropper, right? I gave Clat in 21. I did get HNLU, but then I was not really satisfied. And I mean, not just that, but there were a lot of different factors as well why I did not go to HNLU. But then, anyway, so when I decided to take an year off, Uday came up to me. We're from the same school, right? And we decided that we'll study together.
Yes.
We ran a lot of experiment, as I just told you, right? We would focus on comprehension. We left our current affairs. We had a lot of backlogs. Then Ankit came in, and then he helped us with the backlogs and all of that. I think all in all, there were like a lot of ups and downs. I mean, a lot of people say, consistency is the key, but then sometimes you just cannot be consistent, right? You need to give time for yourself as well. I don't remember. I don't think I had a routine for that matter, right? It was always like, I need to do, okay, this is what I need to do, right? And here is how I'll do it. But at the end of the day, let's just say if I say that I need to do these 10 things and I've done only 7, then chill, you've at least done 7, right? So focus on your mental health as well. Do not, do not put a lot of pressure on yourself while you're preparing for this, right? Know that a lot of people have prepared for this before you. A lot of people are preparing alongside you as well. Having a study buddy does help, right? Do that. And then I was genuinely pissed off about the fact that neither me or Uday, for that matter, could make it to Super 30 in LE, right? And then we saw this Telegram message that apparently there's this Super 40 batch and everything. And then I went through the Flames website and I saw Suyash and Siddharth who had already made it to NLS, right? They were also from Flames. And then I saw the reviews and everything. And then we had a word as well, right? Before the Super 40 interviews. So I was genuinely shocked about the fact that here is an institute, right? I mean, if I were an institute and I would want to capitalize on the ranks, right? I would just test you on, let's say, sectionals, or for that matter, on a Clat mock paper, and then I would see who has got the best ranks, and I would get them in my Super 30, Super 40 batch, whatever, right? But then one thing that I found different about Flames was although we were tested on, let's say, legal reasoning or critical reasoning for that matter, but then a lot of it also had to do with, you just interacting with us. Because I don't think, I mean, the Super 40 batch in particular, we were all at different levels, right? So there were some people, for instance, Aditya and Piyush, right? They would always get rank 1s, rank 2s, and all of that, right? They were genuinely good, right? They would work hard and everything. And then there were people like me, Uday, and Ankit, right? We would generally, it was always like sometimes Uday would get a better mock score, sometimes I would get a better mock score. There were people who were struggling, right? I've seen people who were in their 20s, go up to their 40s, 50s, 60s, because a lot of people come from different backgrounds. A lot of people are not comfortable with English. For instance, me, for that matter, I'm not that comfortable with English, whether it be about reading in English or speaking in English for that matter. So, I mean, the kind of personal attention that people get in Flames, I mean, it's commendable, right? So that was my experience with Flames. And personally, I mean, I have told this to you in previous occasions as well, but I think I need to say this again. I don't think Uday, Ankit, or me, for that matter, would have made it to our respective NLUs if it were not for you. So again, you and then our personal mentors, Priyanshi and Tanishka, in the case of Uday, right? You were of much help. So yeah, thank you for that.
Devansh, when we took admission in Super 40, there is a general persona, a general perspective in our country that Super 40 is only for the toppers. Right? Those who are getting good score in the mock, only they will get selected. But the kind of flame we are running, the Super 40 or any other batch, is very different. 90 to 95% of people who is selected under the Super 40 are only the students who are getting under score of 30s, 20s, 40s. Right? And currently they are going to the NLU, different NLU Delhi, NLS Bangalore, NASA, and all. This is something that makes Super 40 of flames very different, very different. Because I just know that when you gave the first mock of flames, your score was 60 or something like that. Devansh is, yeah.
I don't think I ever crossed 100 in my Flames mock. My best was 96 or something.
Is all India mock of flames, right?
I remember that, yeah.
And your average score was 80, 85. And Uday, what was the score of Uday in the first mock of flames? I get 50s or something like that.
Yeah, 50s or something. Yeah. And you remember, so what we thought was that if we come up with like really great scores, we might
Ah,
just get in flames, right? So we
yeah,
sent you those screenshots of us getting 110, 115. And in
yeah,
the first mock of flames, we're like sitting on 60s and 50s. So
yeah,
yeah, that was
definitely.
embarrassing.
And Uday texted me ki, Bhaiya, I will raise so many grievances. Don't worry, my score will boost up. There must be some error in the answer key. I mean, tell me your score, man. I was like, Bhaiya, I was getting 48 or 50, but just give me 2 hours. Abhi and then there was a coming and we will just rectify all the things. Again, okay.
Yeah.
Grievances raised by you guys, I guess nearby 30 to 20, or your
Yeah,
nearby.
we raised, I think, somewhere around 28 grievances for that particular mock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but after that, no, yeah, you are right. We are wrong. I was like, okay.
That happened. That happened.
No, that's something very, no, that's something very different from the other issue. That's what we are trying to promote. And when we started the Super 40 batch, and when we are just asking from everyone score, all are like 30, 40, and all are so under kind of that who have a doubt in themselves that whether we would clear the paper or not, or whether we will get any NLE. They never thought of dream like NLS Bangalore before joining the Flames. They are the just people who just wanted to crack the Clat, and then tier 3, tier 2, everything will work. But currently we
Correct.
got 44 selections out of 56 students. We taught a very limited number of students. That's something very different margin, right? So my my last question to you: what would be the success mantra for those who are preparing for Clat 2023? In 3 months are left only. So according to you, what would be the success mantra?
Okay, so first things first, don't rely on current affairs. I understand that some people, they're just obsessed with current affairs. Don't do that, because I know a lot of people personally whose current affairs was like the strongest section. But then at the end of the day, current affairs also depends on luck. So I think Uday was like way better in current affairs than me, but then I got a better score in current affairs. Why did that happen? Did I like prepare harder than him? No. Just because I got lucky that मैंने ये news पहले से पढ़ी हुई थी,
Hmm.
right? So that does happen in current affairs. So don't base your entire preparation on current affairs. Make sure that you have like your reading sections are going great, right? Do that. And another thing, please do not ignore math. I mean, a lot of people, they just leave math, right? I get that you have the fear of math and all of that. I used to score zeros in my math and my comprehension was really good, right? But then what happened on the CLAT exam was that I messed up my comprehension sections. But because I got 13 in math, that's the reason why I got the rank that I did get, right? So just make sure you do not leave out on math. Um, Make consolidated notes, right? If you get access to like Anki or flashcard apps like that, use them. Use technology to your advantage. Please do that, right? Make sure this is the time when you revise and consolidate whatever you've read for current
Yes,
affairs. Keep doing that. Another thing is there are like these basic topics in math, percentages, ratios, all of that. Continuously solve. Be in the practice of solving math consistently. Please do that. And then solve mocks, analyze them. Again, don't be obsessed with mocks, because I've seen people who like solve mock on a daily basis and everything. Don't do that. I mean, if it works for some people, it might work for some people, it might not just work for you, right? And even for that matter, anything that I say, take this with a pinch of salt, right? Tailor everything to your own needs. At this point of time, there will be like a lot of YouTube sessions or Telegram sessions for that matter, where people will advise you, this is what I did, this is what I did. But at the end of the day, know yourself, right?
yes,
Your strongest and weakest sections are different from my strongest and weakest sections, right? Your way of looking at something is different from my way of looking at something. So tailor everything according to your own needs, and generally just relax, because it's not just about preparation, but it's also about what is the mental state that you're writing your mock, or for that matter your clat in,
yes,
right? So relax, learn to be calm, prepare well, prepare hard, but then at the end of the day, be content with whatever you get, right?
definitely.
Expectations
And
की
it
pressure में अपने आप को अपना गला मत घोटो एक्सपेक्टेशन की प्रेशर में बेसिकली. ठीक है,
definitely, and it told
सब कुछ
one
सही
more.
जाएगा.
We told just one more important thing which I wanted to highlight, that everyone have a different perspective, different way of learning. So first of all, we have to try to analyze yourself, and we don't need to put our leg in someone's shoes. We have to listen everyone. We have to try to take
Definitely.
something important, but we don't need to put our leg in someone's shoes. That's not a way of success, right? तुम्हारी एक अलग दास्तां हो सकती है, तुम्हारे अपने वीकनेसेस हो सकते हैं, तुम्हारे अपने स्ट्रेंथ हो सकते हैं. The play in the try to analyze yourself first कि तुम किस वे में खेलना चाहते हो, then play the game, right? And at the last, if you will just prepare hard, if you did yourself best, guilt नहीं आएगी, regret will never be there for you, right? So that's something, very insightful thing from your side, Devans, and thank you so much, Devans, for joining us. And right now you are in this Bangalore, right?
Yeah, I'm sitting in my hostel room. Yeah.
Oh my God, tell me about your college. How are you feeling right now in this Bangalore?
Okay, so I used to romanticize NLS like right from the time I got to know about Clat and everything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, since the time I've come here, the people are genuinely nice. I used to think that maybe I mean I was sort of intimidated that they'll be like very smart and everything, and then at the end of the day you realize that people might just be smarter than you. It's like even then they're just people, right? That
Yeah,
and then I was like genuinely overconfident in a lot of things, right? NLS did humble me. I mean, the academic rigor is something that I might not be comfortable with as of now, but then I think I'll get used to it, right? That,
definitely.
and I think it's a very close knit community. Seniors are amazing. I mean, I think probably like I have a lot of friends who've gone to a lot of colleges, but then the kind of interactions and the kind of relationships you might build with your seniors in NLS is something that is entirely different. So yeah, I mean, I genuinely love the time I'm having with
Definitely.
them.
And I knew that the time of structure is something hectic like that, but you will be, habitual very soon. But something which you have to understand that if you think that flat journey is something very challenging or very tough journey, but it's not the truth. Law college will be the most toughest journey in your life,
For real.
right? जब law college में
Another
जाओगे,
thing,
हाँ, tell
yeah,
me.
yeah, you'll realize, I used to think that I used to work hard for CLAT.
Yeah.
Now I'm not so sure.
Definitely. And after cracking the CLAT, you will get to know that कि CLAT तुम्हारे लाइफ का सबसे इजी जर्नी था. अभी जब कॉलेज में आया, इट विल बी
Definitely.
वेरी डिफिकल्ट जर्नी, राइट?
Definitely. I mean, just another point, a lot of people think that just because I got into a particular college, like let's say if I got into NLS, my life is sorted. Or for that matter, if I did not get into any NLU, I might not make a very good career for myself. That's not really true. I've seen like people with like really good ranks who have got like really good ranks who do not really perform well in like class participations or anything or things like these. And I've seen people who might not get like the best of the ranks, but they're doing really well here. So it does not really matter, what your CLAT rank is, what your college is. What matters is that if you've been given an opportunity, how do you use it? What do you do with that? Right. So
Perfect.
just,
Perfect.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's something very interesting from your side again. So thank you so much, Devans, once again. Thank you so much for joining. We wish you all the best for your upcoming journey. हर जगह बस just try to do your best. Everything will be on our plate. Thank you so much, Devans, again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.